You've been trained your whole life to treat nice like it's a virtue. Smile, agree, don't make waves, be understanding, be the bigger man. Meanwhile, the people you admire, kings, generals, CEOs, the men history remembers, play a different game. They are not nice. They are strategic. They choose when to be kind and when to be cold. They know that in politics, in business, in the office, in relationships, and even in their friend circles, the man who needs to be seen as nice becomes a doormat. The man who is willing to be firm, disagreeable, even unpopular when necessary, becomes the one everyone tiptoes around. If you felt this in your job, in your family, in your relationship, drop a comment about the last time you let something slide in the name of being nice and it cost you. Here's the hard truth. Your entire life, you've been rewarded for compliance, not strength. At school, you got praised for being quiet, not powerful. At home, you were told to be good, not formidable. Now you find yourself saying yes when you want to say no, apologizing for things that weren't your fault, and shrinking your ambitions so you don't make anyone uncomfortable. You call it being a good man. They call it free labor. A quick reset starts like this. For the next 24 hours, you do not say sorry unless you genuinely did something wrong. One day of controlled silence will show you how often your niceness is actually fear. This is just the surface, because underneath this habit is a full system, psychological conditioning, social programming, and a lifetime of teaching you to trade your power for approval. We'll go through how to break it, step by step, and much more. If you're tired of being the reliable, polite, forgotten man in the background, subscribe and stay here. Not as a fanboy, but as someone finally choosing to become dangerous in the right way. Machiavelli said it's safer to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. He wasn't telling you to become a villain. He was describing how respect actually works in the real world. Fear, in his language, means consequences. It means that when someone disrespects you, something happens that costs them. Your time, your presence, your support. Love, on the other hand, is fickle, emotional, dependent on constant feeding. A prince who chases love becomes a hostage of the people he wants to impress. Musashi, the undefeated swordsman who survived over 60 duels, said the way of the warrior is the resolute acceptance of death. That doesn't just apply to battlefields. It means a real warrior accepts loss of people, of comfort, of approval, as the price of living by his code. You, on the other hand, are terrified of small deaths, the death of being liked, the death of being seen as nice, the death of everyone thinking you're easy. So you surrender your time, your money, your peace, your self-respect to avoid those tiny deaths. That's not kindness, that's cowardice dressed up as virtue. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire and wrote to himself not to be gentle with his excuses. He reminded himself that other people's opinions are outside his control, but his choices and character are not. He understood what modern men forget. Your life is not a democracy. You are the emperor of this one body, this one mind. When you let everyone vote on how you live, you dethrone yourself. Kings don't ask their subjects for permission to become stronger. They act, then handle the resistance. Clausewitz said that in war, the errors that come from benevolence are the worst. A general who hesitates out of softness gets his men killed. In your life, the errors that come from trying to be nice are destroying your finances, your relationships, and your sanity. You stay in jobs where you're underpaid because you don't want to upset anyone. You tolerate disrespect because you don't want drama. You bend, you bend, you bend, then one night you explode, alone, in your head, wondering why no one sees your value. That stops now. You were conditioned to be nice. Look at how it started. As a boy, you weren't taught boundaries. You were taught obedience. Don't talk back. Don't argue. Don't upset your mother. If you pushed back, you were labeled difficult, ungrateful, selfish. So you learned early, if I suppress my anger, if I swallow my truth, if I smile when I'm hurt, I am rewarded. I get affection. I avoid punishment. You didn't learn how to say no without exploding. You learned that your no is dangerous. School reinforced it. The system rewards quiet boys who comply, not strong boys who question. You got told off for attitude when you simply had a spine. You saw that the golden boys, the teacher's pets, the polite ones, got praise and opportunities. So you buried your edge. You became agreeable. You started to believe that success belongs to the smooth, not the sharp. Religion and culture added more layers. You were told to turn the other cheek, to forgive endlessly, to be humble. Those ideas can be powerful in the hands of a strong man who can also fight. But in your case, they were used to file down your teeth. Be humble was code for never confront. Forgive was a command to let people repeat the same betrayal without consequence. You internalized a simple rule. If I put myself first, I am bad. Now look where it has left you. In relationships, you overinvest. You shower her with attention, gifts, time. You tolerate disrespect, canceled plans, cold behavior, endless tests. You tell yourself you're being patient, understanding, kind. She feels something different, boredom and contempt. Women do not respect a man who has no line. When every offense is forgiven, you communicate one thing: you have no standards. She might stay, she might use you, she will not look up to you. With friends, you're the reliable one, the one who always drives, always pays, always helps them move, always listens to their drama at 2 a.m. You wear loyalty like armor, but for them, it's just your leash. When you need help, suddenly everyone is busy. They know you'll tolerate it. You won't call them out. You'll swallow the resentment and show up again next time. At work, you're the man who goes above and beyond, who takes on extra tasks without extra pay, who trains the new guy, who fixes everyone's mess. Management loves that. Not you, your compliance. Your effort becomes the floor, not the ceiling. You train your boss to expect more for less. When promotion time comes, they pick the one who asked, who pushed, who was willing to be demanding. You sit there thinking hard work speaks for itself. It doesn't. Power speaks. Hard work is just ammunition. This is how being nice slowly kills you. Not all at once, but in 1,000 small concessions. You don't get stabbed, you get drained. You wake up one day realizing you have become a supporting character in other people's story. To change this, you don't need to become an asshole. You need to become a strategist. A general doesn't move troops because someone might be offended. He moves troops because the terrain demands it. He reads the map. He understands objectives. He calculates cost. You must treat your time, energy, and emotions the same way. Every yes is a deployment. Every no is a defensive maneuver. Every relationship is either an alliance, a neutral state, or an enemy territory. Start with one brutal principle. You owe people decency, not your destruction. Kindness is a choice. Niceness is a reflex. Kindness is intentional, directed, measured. Niceness is automatic, anxious, desperate. Kindness comes from strength, from a man who could say no, could walk away, could retaliate, choosing not to. Niceness comes from fear, from a man who can't stand tension, can't risk being disliked, can't endure silence. You want to be kind like a king, not nice like a servant. A king can be generous because his throne is secure. He has boundaries, he commands, he enforces. When someone disrespects the crown, they feel the consequences. In Machiavelli's language, he knows how to be good and how not to be good, and he chooses according to necessity. This is the stance you need. Warrior, general, king. Warrior. You accept conflict as part of life. You do not run from it. You stay calm, but you will not be disrespected. You understand that saying no, setting a boundary, leaving a situation, confronting a lie, these are all forms of combat. Not every battle is physical. Most battles are psychological. A warrior doesn't apologize for drawing his sword when someone walks into his space. General, you think in campaigns, not moments. You don't blow up your life over small things, but you don't tolerate long, slow abuse either. You choose where to fight, where to withdraw, where to build. You stop doing favors that don't serve your long-term strategy. If helping someone moves you closer to your goals and aligns with your values, fine. If it drains you for nothing, you cut it off. King, you take responsibility for your realm, your body, your money, your time, your relationships. This is your kingdom. You enact laws, what is allowed, what is not. You enforce those laws consistently. You don't scream, you don't beg, you don't explain 10 times. You act. A friend disrespects you in front of others, you address it once. If it repeats, you reduce access. A partner uses your kindness to manipulate you, you confront, and if it doesn't change, you leave. Here is how you start dismantling the nice guy conditioning in practical terms. First, audit your apologies. For a week, pay attention to every time you say sorry. Most of your apologies are not about true remorse. They're about managing other people's feelings and protecting your image. You say sorry when someone bumps into you. You say sorry when you can't reply instantly. You say sorry when you didn't do anything wrong. From now on, apologies are reserved for these situations. You broke a promise, you lied, you caused real harm. Everything else gets different language. Excuse me, thanks for waiting, I can't make it. Second, audit your yes. Every time you say yes, write down what it cost you. Time, energy, focus, money. Then ask, did this move me closer to my goals? Did this align with my values? Or did I do it to avoid discomfort? After 1 week of this, you will see your life on paper. A long list of unpaid favors and emotional debts. That's the map of your current weakness. A general needs a map. Third, create a simple code. Musashi refused to live according to other people's expectations. He developed his own way, a school of strategy, and lived by it even when it cost him. You do not need a complicated philosophy. Start with 5 rules. I do not tolerate disrespect from anyone. I do not over-explain my boundaries. I do not say yes when my body says no. I do not apologize for improving my life. I walk away from people who punish my growth. Write these down. Read them every morning. This is your personal law of the land. You're not waiting for someone to give you permission to live by them. You enforce them. Fourth, accept the price. The moment you stop being nice, people will test you. They will say you've changed. They will accuse you of being selfish, arrogant, cold. Understand what is actually happening. Their free access is being revoked. Their ability to use your time and emotions without cost is ending. Of course they're upset. When a country that's been plundered for decades finally builds defenses, the looters complain. Rousseau said that to renounce your liberty is to renounce your status as a man. You've been renouncing your liberty in subtle ways for years. Taking it back will feel violent, both to you and to them. But this violence is internal, the ripping out of old beliefs. You must be willing to be misunderstood. You must be willing to be alone for a while. You must be willing to lose certain people. Fifth, understand the difference between being feared and being resented. You do not want to be cruel. You do not want to humiliate people. You do not want to dominate for the sake of your ego. That's the behavior of a weak man addicted to power because he has no inner foundation. You want something else, a reputation. You want the people around you to know, without doubt, that you are not to be played with, that crossing your boundaries has a cost, that you can be incredibly generous, incredibly supportive, incredibly loyal, but not at the expense of your self-respect. Here is how that looks in real situations. In your relationship, you stop rewarding bad behavior. When she stonewalls, insults, threatens to leave, you don't chase, you don't beg, you don't throw gifts at the problem. You calmly say, I don't operate in disrespect. When you're ready to talk like an adult, we can talk. Then you disengage. No yelling, no silent rage, just distance. If the pattern repeats and she refuses to meet you with basic respect, you leave. Not as a tantrum, but as an execution of your code. You stop hiding your goals. You tell her, I'm building myself. I'm going to be training, working, learning. I won't always be available. That's not neglect. That's leadership of my own life. If she supports it, good. If she tries to sabotage it with guilt or manipulation, you have your answer. She is not an ally. In friendships, you start matching effort. The friend who never checks on you, never supports you, never shows up, but expects you to drop everything, you stop doing that. You reply slower. You stop volunteering your time. You let the connection fade. You don't send a 20-paragraph text about how they've hurt you. You simply remove the subsidy. You don't lend money that you can't afford to lose. You don't carry other men on your back while they waste their lives. If a brother is grinding, trying, working, helping him is an investment. If he's drowning in his own laziness and excuses, helping him is self-sabotage. At work, you stop being the quiet beast in the corner. You ask for what you want. You state your value clearly. I've been doing X, Y, Z. I'm bringing this much revenue. I'm handling these responsibilities. Here's what I'm asking for in return. If they say no, you don't sulk. You start planning exits. You build skills. You leverage your experience into options. You stop acting like the company owns you. You stop staying late to prove yourself if it's not acknowledged or rewarded. You use that time to build yourself. Learning, fitness, side income. Your future boss is not your current boss. Your future life is not inside that building. Now understand this. As you stop being nice, some relationships will die. That's not a bug. It's a filter. The people who are in your life because of your weakness will leave when you become strong. The people who only enjoyed you as a servant will complain when you start ruling your own time. Let them go. You are not a public utility. You are a man. Aristotle said that man is by nature a political animal. We live in communities. We form cities. We build systems of law. But he also pointed out that justice is the virtue that keeps a state from becoming a nest of predators. In your personal city, justice starts with you. You cannot demand fairness from a world you train to exploit you. You cannot complain about being used when you hand people the tools to use you. So here is your new reality. You will not apologize for building yourself. You will not dim your ambition because it makes insecure people feel small. You will not shrink your plans because your family has settled for a smaller life. You will not stop learning, training, earning, and rising because your friends would rather stay comfortable. You will not be sorry for choosing the gym over the party. You will not be sorry for choosing work over gossip. You will not be sorry for choosing solitude over fake company. You will not be sorry for treating your body like a weapon, your mind like a fortress, and your time like gold. If they call you selfish, remember, a man who cannot take care of himself cannot truly take care of anyone else. A broken king cannot protect his kingdom. Your kindness will now come from your overflow, not your emptiness. You will help because you choose to, not because you are scared to say no. You will give because you want to, not because you are terrified of conflict. You will love fiercely, but you will not love in a way that requires you to disappear. This is not a switch you flip. It is a campaign. You will make mistakes. Some days you'll fall back into old habits, apologizing too much, over-explaining, saying yes too quickly. When that happens, you do what a general does after a lost battle. Review, learn, adjust. You ask, where did I give in? What was I afraid of? How do I handle this differently next time? Then you move. No self-pity. No long speeches about how hard it is. Just adjustment. You will also feel guilt. That's normal. Guilt is the echo of your old programming. When you start saying no more, when you pull your energy back, when you stop saving people from the consequences of their own choices, your nervous system will send alarm signals. That discomfort is not a sign that you're doing the wrong thing. It's a sign that you are stepping out of your cage. In time, something will shift. People will stop talking to you a certain way. They will think twice before making jokes at your expense. They will stop dumping endless problems on you without offering anything in return. Some will leave. Some will adapt. New people will appear. People who are drawn to your strength, not your softness. Opportunities will find you because you finally look like a man who can handle them. And most importantly, you will respect yourself. That feeling, when you look in the mirror and know you protected your boundaries, pursued your goals, refused disrespect, and stood on your principles, that is worth more than every scrap of approval you've ever begged for. A man who respects himself moves differently. He enters a room differently. He speaks differently. He loves differently. This is what happens when you stop being nice and start being real. If you were awake during this, if something inside you burned, then this is your next move. Comment, "I wasn't sleeping throughout this video." So you mark the moment you chose to stop being the nice man everyone uses. Subscribe for more, because this is not a one-off speech. This is training.
Support the channel with a like, comment, and of course, subscribe. And we will see you on the next video.